Autumn, it's all about the colours, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. It doesn't matter if you're looking at an entire landscape covered in beautifully coloured trees or just a single leaf like I found hanging around here. You know, the colours are absolutely magical, and the one thing that I really enjoy doing in Photoshop is bringing the best of those colours out. Now, I've done this method a few times. This time I'm going to do a slightly different twist to it. But you may be thinking, alright, with colours, why don't you just drop down? You've got adjustment layers, you've got vibrance, which is pretty good these days, and just move the vibrance up. Well, you can do that, but it doesn't have the same sort of effects. If you just look at the oranges, look at the reds there, they look pretty good, but it's not the sort of, it hasn't got the same glow, and it's the glow that I'm after that we can only get. I've just got this layer highlighted, so I just need to press delete because I'm using CS5. If you're using any other version of Photoshop, just drag it in the bin. But it's the glow of the colour that I love from this next technique. Right, first thing you need to do, if you have got any layers in your layer stack, doesn't matter if it's one adjustment layer like I've got here, or if you've got a whole panel full, you'll need to go to Image, drop down to Duplicate, and duplicate, tick on merge layers only, click OK to that. So that we've merged it, we've now got ourselves a copy of our original, but we have got no other layers associated with it at all. You'll notice as well it's RGB /8. We're going to go to Image Mode, we're going to change it to LAB color. You'll now notice it's telling us LAB /8-bit. Dropping down, we're going to come down to this icon here, we're going to go for curves. Now when curves opens, just let me make this a bit bigger for you, we've got the default grid pattern in there. Now the first thing we're going to do is come to the top corner, click on this little window, we're going to go for curves display options. That opens this dialog box. Clicking on this one here and you'll notice the grid pattern becomes a lot more defined, a lot smaller. Click OK to that. Right, now for the channels themselves. Lightness, we also have A and B. There it is, there's our lab. We're going to go for A. Clicking on the A channel, coming to the top corner, we're going to move this line across till it goes directly over the top of that sort of vertical line there. That looks pretty good. You'll notice that saturated the reds. Coming down to the bottom, dragging this across. As we drag this across, you notice the colours in the reds have quelled down, the yellows and the oranges are coming through a little bit more there. That looks pretty good. Coming now to B, repeating the process, dragging that across to that area there, the first line, dragging this over. I say the first line, you might want to take it a stage further. It's entirely up to you. You can experiment, pumping it right up. You can see we're actually working on the blues on this particular one there. So you may want to take that just a stage further or two. Entirely up to you, but I'm going to go directly for the line like this. And there it is, job done. We can set that back to lightness. Now when we take a look, there it is, that's the before, that's the after. It looks subtle. Let's zoom into the image to that area there, switching it on and off. Look at the glow it gives those colours. It really is a fantastic way of boosting the colours in your picture. Now, if you're working on a whole range of autumnal pictures, what you might like to do is, if you double click on it again, what you can always do is come to the top corner, click on the top corner, and you can save curve preset. Click on this. It's going to ask us for a name, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to call this subtle color boost LAB because it's in the lab mode, and I'm going to click save to that. There it is. Alright, it's LA. Don't know what happened to the B. Not to worry. If we also remember, I did a sort of another one as well. There it is there. The lightness, you'll notice with this one I've moved it across to the second row in on both the A and the B, and I've also come to the lightness channel and I've also twiddled with this. Yes, I'll use this on some other pictures, but for the autumnal scene ones, the subtle looks pretty good there. Yes, you can do the same thing. You can come in then and individually tweak the pictures, perhaps just dropping the curves down a little bit like that, and just tweak the individual image using the curves. It's just the brightness I'm looking at, like the way that's heading. Job done. Right, we're still in the LAB mode. Image mode, RGB color. It's given us this warning. Changing the mode will discard the adjustment layer. That's where we've done all the work. Change mode, if you click on this, basically what it will do is it will discard this and you'll end up with your original picture. So you must click flatten. Make sure you click flatten. That drops it down. We've maintained the colours we put in. Right, I've got the hand tool selected, so I'm just going to press V on the keyboard, which will give me the move tool. I'm going to click down, holding it down, lifting it up. You can see I've got the little black arrow there coming over to get the tab here. We're now going to come across. I'm going to press and hold down Shift on the keyboard as well. So holding down Shift, releasing the move tool. Because I held down Shift, it's now placed it directly over the top. And look at the way those colours have really been lifted. If we pop in again, you can see there it is. The colours have been really nicely sort of saturated. You can, of course, come to the opacity slider, and you might want to just sort of drop it down. I've gone down there to what, 88% there. That looks pretty good. It's still got that lovely colour boost. The colours are glowing through there nicely. And there it is, job done. All that remains is just give this a name, colour boost, so you know what you've done on that particular layer. Go on, give it a try. It really does work a treat. It's a great way of boosting colours. I do it a lot in autumnal sort of style pictures, but also some other pictures can work just as well. So give it a try. It's a wonderful way of actually bringing out the great colours and tones in your pictures.